and I'm sad about it. Do you know?
Why? Why? Tell me why. Why does New York sports just have to prove me wrong and make me look like an absolute imbecile? New York Mets, who I don't like, I had faith in them for once. Out of all the years I'm a Yankees fan, I never had faith in the Mets. They've always been terrible, and I put my faith in you, and you just crapped on my face. Like, it was just terrible. They played such a bad World Series. I am so unbelievably surprised. Don't get me wrong, their pitching was actually pretty darn good. That was not the problem. I mean, their relief staff was bad. Bartolo Colon pitched pretty well. John Neese pitched pretty well. Addison Reed was a letdown. Familia was a huge letdown. I have such high standards for him, and he was just a big letdown. Their defense was absolutely horrendous. Daniel Murphy had an error that ruined the game. Lucas Duda last night had an error that destroyed the game, that stopped them from winning the game. David Wright in, I think, game one had a few errors that were terrible. Yoenis Cespedes on the first play of the World Series let an inside of the park home run happen from kicking the ball. He actually kicked the ball in game 4 too, I believe, which was, you just don't do that. That just does not happen twice. It might happen once. It definitely does not happen twice. And it was just terrible. I mean, I picked the Mets to win in 6. Royals won in 5. Royals played a very sound game of baseball. Contact hitters, put the ball in play, which was the perfect against the Mets, who have a very shady defense and a very shady bullpen to begin with. All of their problems that they had in the beginning of the season, the first half of the season, which was their hitting and their release staff, just came back in the World Series. The only guy that hit in the beginning of the season was the only guy that hit in the World Series. Yes, David Wright got a homer. Great. Wonderful. 1 homer. Lovely. Curtis Granderson kept you guys in the game, other than your starting pitching, kept you guys in the World Series every single game. He was unbelievable. You guys have got to pay him more than what he's being paid. I know he's probably being paid a lot, but he was just so consistent. He was your best in the postseason. I know Daniel Murphy had that amazing run, but he's either extremely hot or extremely cold, which he showed in the World Series at the biggest stage. And Curtis Granderson was consistently hitting the ball every single round of every single playoff round. And I have to give my hat off to Curtis Granderson. He was unbelievable. Lucas Duda did not hit this entire postseason. I mean, he hit a few. David Wright did not hit the entire postseason. Maybe got a homer or two. Yoenis Cespedes swung at everything that the catcher could catch. It was ridiculous. Daniel Murphy was terrible in the World Series. His fielding was terrible. His hitting was terrible. Curtis Granderson, his fielding was great. He has no arm, but his fielding was great, and his hitting was unbelievable. But I think that was the only player other than the starting pitching who pitched great, who played well. I just was so upset. The relief staff, Familia was such a letdown. I know there were errors to hurt him, but even then, you're the closer. You're supposed to be the stop guy. You're supposed to strike these guys out, take these guys out of the game, and just finish the game. Game 1, you couldn't do it. Game 5, you couldn't do it. And I'm pretty sure Game 4, you couldn't do it. I'm not 100% on that. But it was ridiculous. And that's all I have to say on the Mets. Other than hopefully they re-sign Cespedes. I heard they're not going to. They're not going to re-sign Murphy. I don't think they should. They have better people or more consistent people than Murphy to play that position. Hopefully you trade one of your big guys in the starting pitching. Hopefully it's Harvey, and hopefully you get a huge bat from that. You have Rila, you have Max, you have Syndergaard, you have DeGrom, you have Bartolo Colon. You got 5 pitchers there that could easily pitch. And you have Neese as a 6th guy. You don't need Harvey. I know he's a great pitcher. I know he's really fun to watch. But you can get a big bat or even two really good bats from that player. So I think you should do that. Now going to the Jets. The Jets are just awful. The defense was awful. They did not tackle. They were playing flag football, like my mother said. Flag football during that game. It was terrible. And it was just, I just couldn't believe that defense was considered number 1 at some point. They were supposed to keep them in the game, us in the game, which they actually did. Then Geno Smith came in, and I knew there was no shot of us winning because he is such a bad decision maker. I know he's rusty, but decision making is not, you don't get rusty in decision making. Decision making is all mental and all intellect, and he had some really terrible decisions. 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 or whatever it was, he threw an interception in double coverage, a bomb to I think Eric Decker, which got intercepted. And he had in the 4th quarter we were 2 possessions down, and he got sacked twice. And there was another play where he ran out of bounds or got sacked, and he started walking back to the huddle with 6 minutes left. You're kidding, right? That was terrible. He just doesn't make good decisions. He's not a starting quarterback in this league. He should get released. He's terrible. Hopefully the Jets get another quarterback, and hopefully he's better than Geno Smith, because we need it. We're in a lot of trouble, and hopefully they got a wake-up call from this game against the Oakland Raiders, and hopefully they play better in Buffalo. Knicks are actually looking pretty good in their first few games. They're playing San Antonio tonight. It should be interesting. Go Knicks. I think San Antonio is probably going to win this game, but we'll see. Tonight, Monday Night Football, I picked the Colts to win. I'm going to stick with that pick, even though I've been wrong about everything this weekend. Hopefully, they will win, and we'll see what happens. I think the Colts are going to show that they're a good team, and Carolina is going to show that they are a fluke, because they had 3 interceptions. They played a better team. They would have lost. So, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Go Jets, go Knicks, and hopefully the Yankees do something in the offseason. We'll see what happens tonight, and please comment and subscribe below. Thanks for watching.